Hello and welcome everyone to the concept discussion video of NEBA ES. In this video, we are going to discuss two modern Indian scientists. This is a video series where we are discussing the contribution from Indian scientists. In the previous video, we saw about Srinivasa Ramanujan and C.V. Raman. In this, we are going to discuss about J.C. Bose and Homi J. Bhabha. So when we talk about J.C. Bose, so initially when we talked about Srinivasa Ramanujan and C.V. Raman, both of them were from Tamil Nadu. Now J.C. Bose is from Bengal. He was born in 1858, so you can see that he died before India got independence. So this is not modern day Bengal, this is Bengal of that time. Now see, J.C. Bose's area of expertise cannot be pinpointed because he was a polymath. Polymath means a person who has multiple interests and expertise in multiple fields. So take the case of J.C. Bose, he has interest and researches in biology, physics, botany and science fiction. This is something that you won't anticipate. He was in fact called as the father of Bengali science fiction. Now you can see the text here. This is one of the books he has written. It's a story. So the story is about a cyclone and overcoming that cyclone with a bottle of hair oil. So it's an interesting fiction, a science fiction. So you can see the cover page of it. Later it was made part of his essay series. So just keep in mind that he was the father of Bengali science fiction. Now second, when he started his research, he worked with Lord Rayleigh. I included Lord Rayleigh in this because one important concept for prelims can be associated with Rayleigh, which is the Rayleigh scattering. Rayleigh scattering is about the elastic scattering of light. When we discussed about C.V. Raman, we talked about inelastic scattering of light. Rayleigh came up with the idea of elastic scattering of light, and elastic scattering of light is what gives blue color to the sky. So J.C. Bose worked with Lord Rayleigh and he came up with a lot of findings. The most important among all that is the study in radio waves. So J.C. Bose was the first person to use semiconductor to detect radio waves. He also came up with the discovery of millimeter length electromagnetic waves. This later helped in radio communication. So the area of domain is radio waves, and these are the two major findings of J.C. Bose. Next up, very important instrument associated with the name J.C. Bose, that is crescograph. Now you can see it in the picture. Crescograph is one instrument that is used to measure or to detect the responses or what we call as stimuli in scientific language. So what he tried to prove was that plants have parallel responses like animals. So when plants get wounded, their responses changes. So this is still an ongoing debate. Discoveries are going on about that. But at that point in time, he discovered something of the crescograph. He also wrote two books on that. See 1902, he wrote Response in Living and Non-Living. Second, 1926, The Nervous Mechanism of Plants. So this is one area where he has worked extensively. That is the living nature of plants. So radio waves, so you can see it is completely in the domain of physics. Plants, it is completely in the domain of botany or biology. Initially, we saw what he did with fiction or literature. So that is why we call him a polymath. Now, second person, Homi J. Bhabha. Someone who constantly features in your answer on nuclear technology. He is the father of Indian nuclear technology. He was born in 1909, the later day Bombay, modern Mumbai. Died in 1966. He was into the fields of nuclear research plus space. Not just nuclear research, space as well. So that should be kept in mind. Now I have a chronology of Homi J. Bhabha here. During the Second World War time, he was part of the Indian Institute of Science. He was educated abroad. During this time, he came back and worked at Indian Institute of Science. It is in 1948, that is 1 year after India got independence, he became the first inaugural chair of Atomic Energy Commission. Then Atomic Energy Establishment was established in Trombay. This after the death of Homi J. Bhabha in 1966. was named as BARC, something that you all know, Baba Atomic Research Center. He was the representative of India in International Atomic Energy Agency as well. So this is the chronology and important contributions as a bureaucrat and scientist, a technocrat by Homi J. Bhabha in India. He was also the visionary who devised the three-stage nuclear program where India could use its thorium resources. So initially it starts with pressurized heavy water reactors, then it moves on to fast breeder reactors, and finally will reach in thorium based reactors. So this vision was devised by Homi J. Bhabha. Next up, we have two findings, two scientific findings. One is Bhabha scattering, second Hitler theory. This is also the contribution of Homi J. Bhabha. This is about the interaction of electrons with positrons. Positron is the antimatter of electron. So when they interact, there will be radiation. So Homi J. Bhabha, connected with nuclear technology, he is into the field of nuclear research. Hitler theory is also about the interaction and the formation of paired particles. Bhabha scattering is about the interaction and scattering. So now when we study about Large Hadron Collider, this is also about collision of matter, scattering, and the study of subatomic particles. Homi J. Bhabha's theories are also in the same domain, which is quantum biophysics. Next up in the field of space, see in 1961, Department of Atomic Energy was in charge of the Indian space program. So that time Homi J. Bhabha had made contributions to it. Homi J. Bhabha is someone who also realized the importance of electronic industry when it comes to researches like space as well as nuclear. So he formed the Electronics Committee in 1963, just 3 years before his death. So the contribution of Homi J. Bhabha in the field of electronics, space, nuclear research as a proper scientist as well as a technocrat. So that's it. J.C. Bose and Homi J. Bhabha. I think both the personalities are clear to you by this video. Thank you for listening.